Hi, I'm going to show you how you can create a button and then link that to a pop-up. So we're going to go to create the button first. I'm going to go into categories and into people. And here I'm going to create a button called therapists. So generally a pop-up is going to be something that comes up over the top of the page and still allows you to see the message window in the background. And it's usually a choice or a number of different things in that one category. So let's create the button by going up to the grey triangle, menu, and choose modify, and then select the button. And here we can go through that quick process of just adding the label. So add therapist, just turning to my keyboard there. Can't spell. There we go. Therapists, and select a picture. Choose select. And we also want to change the folder shape or the shape of the button to a folder so that it indicates that we are going into a pop-up. So choose style across the top and change the shape by clicking on the drop down and choose the folder shape. There we go. You can also choose to, if you wish, match the border colors so that it keeps the same across all the different pages. But we're going to just keep this nice and quick. Click on our tick. So we've done the button, but we actually need to create the pop-up that it's going to link to. The best way to do that is to go in and find a template page so that you're not having to recreate everything from scratch. So we'll click on the grey menu button, choose settings this time, and now we're going to go into the editor. Now don't get too afraid of being in here. We're just going to do a very simple option. There's a lot that you can do, but let's keep it simple. Let's find our template. So we'll go into File across the top and choose New from Template. And you've got different folder options for that relate to your pod. So we're in a 15 for school, 15 plus, so we'll go in there. And these are the different page or pop-up options. We want just a blank pop-up, potentially with a turn the page option. So there's a no turn, and then just near where my head will be is the one that will have a page turn option so that you can add additional pages if you need to. So we select that and click on create, and we can give that a page name. So if you're familiar with all your pages in your pod and the way that they're named, you could go with that convention, or you could also just make it very easy and call it what it is. So therapists, page 1, and choose done. And now if you wish to, you could click on each cell or button in that pop-up that you've created and just edit them very quickly. So we could have our speechy, add a picture, so on. On the next one, we could have our physio, etc. And those little red circles there allow you to do more editing, just like you did before with the button. The same options for the label and the symbol. So we could do physio therapist and search. There's nothing coming up. Have I done anything wrong with my spelling? No. So let's just go with therapist, see what comes up. Here we go. So choose something there and select. So that's your page or your pop-up that you're going to link to the button that we created. When you finish populating that pop-up, you can choose to exit, choose to save those changes. And now we want to go back. You do often get this full screen version of your pop-up. That's not how it will look when we link it. But to get to our main page, just click up in the top right, choose settings, choose page browser, and click on your main page. It's probably the easiest way to just get back to where you want to start. Now we can navigate back to our categories, to our people page, and here is our button, therapists, that we're going to link that pop-up to. Now, when we link a pop-up, we actually need to add an action that's probably a little bit unusual that you're not familiar with. And we'll see that same action if we have a quick look at something like the Friends button there. If we do an edit, go to menu, choose modify, and click on Friends, it just gives us a bit of a heads up of what we need to actually program. So if we look at the actions, we can see open pop-up and then brackets, the page name, and a couple of numbers. And those numbers are important to remember, 0 and 162. Well, they may be slightly different depending on the device that you're editing your pod on. So I'm now going to just click on the tick because I'm going to remember that. And this time I'm going to go to my grey menu, choose modify, and click on the therapist button. Now I can go into my actions because I want to link up that pop-up and choose that action. Now it's not actually in my list of actions, so I can look for it by choosing to type in pop-up in the search at the top. Okay, and open pop-up option, but I need one that's slightly different, and the pencil that's next to it indicates that there is a different pop-up, a whole lot of different pop-up options. So we'll click on the pencil. You won't actually need to do this again once you've done it once, but click on the pencil and find the one that shows you open pop-up and then brackets page name, XPOS, which is X position, and YPOS, which is Y position. Instead of just clicking on it to start using it, I'm actually going to add it to my favorites by clicking on the little star with the cross, green cross. And so when I go back in and I want to add further pop-ups, it'll always be there in my favorites. So just to show you that that has worked, I'll click off there. Now it's not going to show up right away, but if I click on done and then go back to into my actions, it's now appearing in my list. You just need to go out briefly for it to appear. So I've got that behavior, open pop-up, brackets, page name, XPOS, YPOS. So I'm going to click on it to add it. And as soon as I do that, it directs me to finding the page. So let's scroll down, or we could look and find therapists, which we created earlier. Then we can click on it and select that as our page. And so now that's in the sequence, open pop-up, therapist page 1. And now we need to just add those numbers. And they were 0 for the X position, click on the tick, and 162 for the Y position, click on the tick. So now we can click on done and check that that works. Click on the tick in the top right corner. And so now if we were to click our therapist's button that we created earlier and check that that link to the pop-up works, let's have a look. And there we go. You can see the pop-up that we created in the editor, and we've got the option to throw in the words physio, and it closes the pop-up. So hopefully that's a nice video for you to just quickly review how you can create a button and link a pop-up to it. Thanks.